Imagine you have a machine that prints money. Now imagine that same machine costs $10 for every single dollar it prints. That is the terrifying reality of the modern AI gold rush. Welcome back to Corporate Postmortem. Today, we're dissecting the silent killer of the tech world's most hyped sector, the AI startup burn rate. We are currently living through the most capital-intensive era in software history. In 2024 and 2025 alone, global venture capital poured a staggering $192 billion into AI startups. But behind the flashy demos and world-changing promises lies a financial black hole that is swallowing companies whole. Statistically, AI-native startups are failing at a rate of 92%. That is nearly 30% higher than the failure rate for traditional tech firms. To understand why this is happening, we first have to look at a metric called the burn multiple. This measures how much cash a company spends to generate $1 of new revenue. For a median Series A AI company in 2025, that number is $5. Compare that to the 360 average for non-AI companies, and you start to see the problem. But the burn multiple is just the surface. In the most extreme compute-heavy tasks, some startups are actually losing $40 for every $1 of revenue they capture. So, where is all that capital going? The answer starts with three letters that have become an obsession for investors and founders alike. GPU. Unlike the software companies of the last decade, AI startups aren't just paying for developers and office space. They are locked in a desperate global race for raw compute power. Graphics processing units, specifically those produced by NVIDIA, are the lifeblood of modern AI. But renting these chips in the cloud is an astronomical expense. By early 2025, the price for a cluster of high-end NVIDIA H100 chips could reach $15 per hour. For many startups, infrastructure costs now consume 40 to 60% of their entire budget. This has created what analysts call the GPU black hole. But there's a hidden, quieter killer within that budget: idle burn. In the rush to secure power, many firms overestimate their needs. Recent studies show that AI startups frequently leave their GPUs sitting idle between 70 and 85% of the time. This is effectively like leaving a fleet of private jets idling on the runway, burning fuel 24/7. For a mid-sized startup, these empty cycles can waste up to $40,000 every single month. And because compute is so scarce, companies are often forced into take-or-pay contracts. This means they are legally obligated to pay for massive amounts of cloud power, even if they have no customers to use it. To understand the sheer magnitude of this burn, we have to look at the industry's undisputed king, OpenAI. OpenAI has become the global archetype for the scale-at-all-costs business model. They aren't just burning money, they are setting fire to entire mountains of capital in the hope of reaching AGI. Internal documents from late 2025 revealed a dramatic upward revision of their financial trajectory. OpenAI now projects a cumulative cash burn of $665 billion by the year 2030. That is a staggering $111 billion more than they estimated just a year ago. Reports suggest that by the end of 2025, the company was burning approximately $13.8 million per day. Break that down, and it's over $575,000 per hour, every hour, around the clock. Despite hitting a massive revenue run rate of $12 billion, the math still doesn't quite add up for the near future. OpenAI does not expect to become cash flow positive until at least 2030. In the year 2028 alone, they are forecasting an operating loss of $74 billion. This level of spending is only possible because they have the backing of a trillion-dollar giant like Microsoft. But what happens when you don't have a Microsoft in your corner? Look at the case of Stability AI, the ultimate cautionary tale of the 2024 AI boom. Stability was once the poster child for open-source AI, but their finances were in a state of chaos. They were burning $8 million every month, while only bringing in $1.2 million in revenue. By early 2024, they had mounted $100 million in debt and an incredible $300 million in future obligations. The company eventually nearly collapsed, forcing its founder to step down after an emergency restructuring. It proves that in AI, technical fame does not protect you from financial reality. Beyond the raw cost of compute, AI startups are facing another existential threat: the wrapper trap. Think about how many startups you've seen that offer to summarize your PDFs or write your emails using AI. Many of these are essentially just fancy user interfaces built on top of foundation models like GPT-4 or Claude. They have no technical moat to protect them. In 2024 and 2025, we saw hundreds of these wrappers vanish overnight. Why? Because as soon as OpenAI or Anthropic releases a small update to their native tools, the startup's reason for existing disappears. They are effectively paying their own future competitors for the privilege of building a product that will be replaced. This leads us to the problem of negative unit economics. In a desperate race for market share, many startups are subsidizing their users' behavior. Take the example of high-end AI coding agents. Some early analyses showed that for a $200 a month subscription, a power user could consume up to $5,000 in compute costs. That is a negative 2,400% margin. You cannot make that up in volume. You are simply accelerating your own bankruptcy with every new customer. Then there is the human capital burn. In 2025, the war for AI talent reached absurd proportions. Top researchers from Google or Meta are routinely offered compensation packages exceeding $1 million per year. For a small startup with 10 researchers, that's a $10 million annual payroll before they've even written a single line of production code. This combination of factors has created what many call pivot hell. Look at Inflection AI, which raised a massive $1.5 billion to build a personal AI assistant named Pi. Despite the funding, they were forced to pivot away from consumer products to B2B licensing after their founders were acqui-hired by Microsoft. It was a soft landing for the founders, but a total wipeout for the original vision. Other startups like CodeParrot found that even with impressive technical demos, they couldn't scale beyond a tiny revenue base. The hard truth is that enterprise buyers are becoming increasingly skeptical. They are no longer buying the AI dream. They are demanding clear, measurable ROI. This shift in sentiment has led to a 95% failure rate for internal AI pilots within large corporations. Companies are realizing that flashing tools don't always translate to business value. So, in this landscape of billion-dollar fires, who actually survives? The trend for late 2025 and 2026 is a return to capital efficiency. Investors are no longer rewarding the highest burn. They are rewarding the smartest burn. The survivors are those who achieve a burn multiple below 1.0. These are the startups moving away from the invention phase, trying to build their own massive models, and into the integration phase. They are leveraging open-source models like Llama and Mistral to slash their dependency on expensive closed APIs. They are optimizing inference, the cost of running the model, rather than just throwing more GPUs at the problem. And most importantly, they are solving specific, unglamorous business problems where the value is undeniable. The AI gold rush isn't over, but the era of the unlimited burn is coming to a close. As the venture capital spigot tightens, the founders who succeed won't be the ones with the most GPUs. They'll be the ones who figured out how to build a business that actually earns more than it burns. In the end, it doesn't matter how smart your AI is if you run out of money before it learns to pay for itself. For the world of startups, burn rate remains the ultimate silent killer. Thanks for watching this corporate postmortem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the financial reality of AI, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps us continue to bring you these investigative autopsies. Stay rational, stay efficient, and we'll see you in the next video. Corporate Postmortem.